Welcome back to the channel. My name is Lisa Elvin Stoltari, and I am a genealogist and a passionate traveler. Over the last several years, I've been featuring each Fijoa, or King's Daughter, and getting to know their stories a little bit better. There are over 700, and today we're doing episode 211. We've come so far. We've got such a long way to go. And here's a couple of ways, before we begin, here's a couple of ways you can support the channel. The first three keep you in the know. Subscribe, like, and notify. Notify is that little bell that will alert you every time I post new content. So you'll be the first to kind of see that I've got new stuff coming up. The next three are ways to help the channel grow. We have Coffee, which is a one-time payment. We have Patreon, which is a monthly subscription. And then we also have a Super Thanks, which is part of the YouTube promotional series. And I also have my YouTube, on my Have Roots Will Travel, I have my PayPal as well for all of you who want to help the channel. So, and those of you who have already helped, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So with that being said, let's get started and find out who's our girl for episode number 211. So episode 211 is our Marianne Guedon. And this is a viewer request. When I looked in my files, guess what? I had a little surprise. She's one of my great-grandmas. So I got to know her story a little bit better. And we also have the boy next door's wife. This is also one of her great-grandmothers as well. So let's get to know Marianne. So Marianne was born in 1641 in a commune called Gagne in France. Her parents were Thomas and Isabelle de Moret. Gagne is found on the Île-de-France, region, and in the département or county is Val de l'Oise. Gagne is found in the Vexin forest. That's why Gagne means Gagne in the Vexin, which is the Vexin forest. The church that exists there is Église Notre-Dame de la Nativité, and it replaces the one that was built in the 12th century. It replaced it in about 1534. It was actually burned. The first one was burned by the English in 1436. I mean, the history of this place is just amazing. And this is just a small picture of what the village looks like. Now, it's not actually a village, it's more like a little town. It's 5,800 people. And you have to remember that so that little tiny place inside, it looks huge on the other map, but it is really a suburb of Paris. And so very close to the city, and people would live there and work in Paris, that sort of thing, just like we do here in North America. So Marianne would climb aboard Le Jean-Baptiste Dieppe and arrive in New France on June 18, 1665. She brought with her a dowry of about 200 pounds. We do not know any information about her parents, whether or not they were passed on or not. So Gabriel Benoit de Laforêt is the groom that she selected, and who selected her? He was born in 1637, and he's born in Saint-Prix on Île-de-France. They are both from the same region and both from the same département. So that's kind of an odd kind of thing, really interesting. They might have known the same people and that sort of thing. It's a pretty small place. His parents were Claude Benoit and Anne Fontaine. Saint-Prix is found in that region. It's located about 15 kilometers from Paris. So you can imagine how close it is. The Church of Saint-Prix has existed since the 12th century and was entirely rebuilt in the 15th and 16th. That's the picture on the right. And on the left is a picture of the village as it exists today. So they were married October 26th, 1665 at Champlain. So they would settle first in Trois-Rivières, and we have the 1666 census with Gabriel and Marie. Gaudry is how it's spelled. Let's talk a little bit about Trois-Rivières. It was only the second settlement of New France. It was built and established in 1634. It was named Trois-Rivières because the St. Maurice River has three channels that form at the mouth of the St. Lawrence River. Trois-Rivières is French for three rivers. It was known as Three Rivers in our circles in the English Quebec circles for a long time, and I called it Three Rivers. But really and truly, it is Trois-Rivières. That is its official name. And as the French took over in the 60s and 70s, we slowly, gradually started, out of respect, calling it Trois-Rivières. It's the proper name. Those of you who have ancestors in this area might be surprised at that you might qualify for the Daughters of the American Revolution or Sons of the American Revolution because of the fact that Trois-Rivières, or it was called the Battle of Three Rivers, was fought here and for the American Revolution. And you may find that some of your French ancestors actually fought on the American side and qualify you for membership. So check that out. This is a picture of Trois-Rivières, the way it looks today. And I was traveling through there. It really does look exactly like that. There are parts that are very modern, but the old part of Trois-Rivières really does look like that. And the bottom picture really shows you those three rivers. By 1667, we find them in Cap-de-la-Madeleine. Cap-de-la-Madeleine was founded on March 20th, 1651. The establishment was named by Jacques de la Ferté, who was the abbot of Sainte-Madeleine de Châteaudun in France. And this city is famous for its Basilica Notre-Dame du Cap. When I was in Quebec, we weren't able to go here, so this will be like on the to-do list next time. It is a beautiful, beautiful place just north of Trois-Rivières, and in fact, it's really part of Trois-Rivières metropolitan region, if you will. And I love showing this picture of the shoreline of Cap-de-la-Madeleine because really and truly, I can't believe it would have changed that much since their time and how they would have looked at it. So in the 1667 census, there's no other information. There's no ages, no nothing. It just says Gabrielle and Marguerite. So that is, I know it's them, and they are listed at Cap-de-la-Madeleine. They are at Champlain. I was there this summer, and that was a beautiful, beautiful place. The Champlain municipality lies on the territory of the former seigneuries of Mercelet and L'Arbe-à-la-Croix. The seigneury of Champlain was granted on August 8, 1664. The first French occupants settled here about 1664 or 65. And one of the reasons it didn't get settled is there have been just so many Iroquois challenges and threats that it just wasn't a safe place. And so by 1666, concessions were being granted, and some of the very first families came from Trois-Rivières. And if you have these families, Desrosiers, Chorel, and Dandonneau, those are the real pioneer of that area. And then La Paroisse Notre-Dame de la Visitation, it kind of gives you the list of it. 1666, the first church, 1700, 1807, 1879, and that's the church that exists today. He would go on to have 6 children. Marguerite would marry Jacques Guillaume Vacher and have 11 children, 10 of whom would make it. Gabrielle would marry Marie Roussel and have 8 children, all of whom would make it. Pierre would marry Jeanne Gerlais and have 10 children, 5 of whom would make it. Marianne would marry Michel Perrin and have 6 children, 4 of whom would make it. Marguerite would marry Etienne Gélinas and have 7 children, 6 of whom would make it. Etienne's mother was Françoise de Charmenzel, and she is episode number 24 that we did. Marguerite, you'll notice, is in a deep blue. That's to indicate that is my direct line. Marie-Françoise would marry Pierre Héroux and have 7 children, all of whom would make it. I have the 1681 census here, and it's just very, not troubling, but it's odd. We have Gabrielle, 40, Anne, 40. Their children, Gabrielle, 13, Pierre, and Marie, 2. So who's missing? We have Marguerite, the first Marguerite, and then we have Marianne, who is listed, who's not listed, and then we have Marguerite, my direct descendant, who would have been 2 years old, but is called Marie. So it's a little confusing. Gabriel would die on October 27, 1686. He was only 49 years old. He and Marie were married for a mere 21 years. She did remarry 9 years after, so she really was not getting married out of need. Marais de Labarre was born in 1641. He was also from Normandy. He was previously married to fille du roi Marie Deschamps, who we've not looked at. This is a copy of their marriage contract, and they were married February 7th, 1695. Both Marais and Marianne lived to an incredible age. They were both born in 1641. They died in 1732, making them an incredible 91 years. Marais would go first on March 4th, 1732, and Marianne would follow him very quickly, March 22nd, 1732. They had a very long life together, and presumably she would have helped raise his children. He would have helped raise hers, and so it's really nice that they ended up with so much time together. They were married in 1697, so I mean, we're talking 35 years they had, so that's a remarkable achievement. We have a wonderful article about Gabrielle in our French-Canadian ancestors, just wonderful, just the detail and all of that. So please have a look at that. You can find that on our free French-Canadian ancestors. If you have the volume that is, or you can manage to find, this is a huge series. I have a couple of editions, but they're very hard to find. So I'm very grateful to our free French Canadian Ancestors website, or it's not a website, a Facebook page, and they uploaded for free all of the information. So you can actually read and download the information on your ancestors. So it's a really good find. So I posted the links for you as well. As it's important when you're doing French Canadian research to understand, what the name could have been, because over time, over generations. So Benoist could be Abel, Benedjulet, Bennett, Benoit, Benway, Décourville, La Bonté, La Forêt, La Guerre, La Jeunesse, Larcher, Livernois, and Vaillancourt. La Forêt could be Benoit, de La Forêt, de Montagny, Fort, Jean, Joly, La Branche, La Forêt, La Forêt, La Forêt, La Forêt with 2 R's, La Pierre, Le Fort, Léonard, Paiement, Samigrin, Tessy, Testard, and Thiriac. In case you're wondering how that would emerge, how do you get from La Forêt, Testard? It would be because somewhere along the lines there was La Forêt de Testard. And so then the Testard is used primarily, and we forgot the connection to La Forêt. And by forgetting the connection, we're forgetting the ancestor. So that's why it's really important to have your eyes and ears open to the possibility of the names, okay, and what they might have originally been. As always, these are some of my favorite resources. Genealogy Quebec, I can't live without it. I should do a commercial for them. It's just an incredible work of a masterpiece, actually, in terms of the amount of information you can find there and the ease of the website. It's well worth the price. It's not that expensive when you compare it to other resources. So I would absolutely recommend you to check this out. And so ends episode 211. Marianne Guedon and Gabrielle Benoit de La Forêt are my great-grandparents, and I am extremely proud of what they accomplished, that they were able to keep moving and go to all these different places and settle in Champlain. And I had a funny feeling when I was in Champlain this past summer. I had this feeling of, and I didn't really make the connection. It felt like, and dare I say it, like home, but I had never been there before. So we actually I chose that place to eat supper one night, and it was just amazing. So I wanted to also let you know, I forgot to put it in the other slide, but she had 125 descendants by 1729, which is remarkable. She only had 6 children, but each of them were able to produce quite a number of children, of which I am a proud grandchild. So thank you, Grandmama Marianne, for existing and contributing, and for your sacrifices, and for making certain that your line continues. I bless your memory. I'm ever grateful. Much love. Until I see you on episode 212, I want to make sure to thank my patrons and supporters. Without them, the task would be very lonely. And every time I feel like overwhelmed by what I've taken on, I get a nice little note or something, and I feel like, okay, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So thank you to all of you for your support. And until I see you again on episode 212, au revoir.